A stupendous 2 nights of WrestleMania surprises and excitement. A revisiting of the greatest feud of all time, not starring HBK and Bret Hart. A greatest return of all time, not starring a man named Dewey. The greatest women's match of all time, not starring a woman named Charlotte. And oh yes, we must all acknowledge him now as Pat McAfee is officially the new Nature Boy, as he could wrestle a 76-year-old tyrannical demigod and make it entertaining. That's right, folks. You've stumbled upon the most stupendous WrestleMania review of all history in the time of historical type things. My name is John.
I'm Raja.
And you're watching Blind Tag Wrestling's WrestleMania 2-night review, baby.
WrestleMania 38's in the books.
It's in the books.
How?
It's gone. We closed it up. Oh, yes. It was amazing. Did you see me?
I did.
Oh, you're crap talkity too.
I can't
Cody?
argue with you.
You see Cody?
I did see him.
Cody's
I
mine. And no polka
All right,
dots.
Vince. All right.
Stardust has returned. So we're good. We're good. Look,
We're good. We're in a good place.
we have so much to talk about. We just came right off of night 2.
Yes, we did.
Super exciting. When you look at it all, you wrap it up in a biscuit. It's a damn good biscuit. It really is.
Delicious.
Has a bit of heartburn. Not exactly.
There's an aftertaste.
Doesn't exactly taste like it looks. But all in all,
It's pretty good.
yeah,
You're satisfied?
I am satisfied. Not regurgitating the biscuit like other years.
No, it didn't come back up.
Not just looking at the biscuit from afar and deciding a diet's for me.
You might need a little wash down after, but
that would be raw
that's
for
okay.
me, maybe. So we're
all right.
we're good. Listen, we're gonna get right into this because
Yes.
we have so much to talk about.
So much. 2 nights.
And, you know, it is one of those deal lilies where so much good happened that it was really surprising. And I want to start this off by saying, anybody who watched our review of the ROH event, and where I somewhat talked about WrestleMania, because we were getting ready to have night
Yes.
1, being me, I like to be straight up about stuff.
Yeah.
If I can't tell you the truth or what I believe to be the truth, I don't want to talk about it. In fact,
Right.
it gets me in trouble a lot of times. So does my truth. So here's the deal. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. They pulled off a very entertaining show.
Yeah.
They pulled off some really great matches, but they also had stinkers.
Yeah. I mean, you get the good and the bad.
You do have the good and the bad, but I'm not going to just sit and, you know, try to force something into me being right about it. I love being wrong.
There was more good than bad.
Look, we love wrestling.
Yes.
All.
More of this.
All wrestling, and would love for all of it to be successful and for
Yeah.
all of it to be great.
Yeah.
It can't all be great, and when it's not, we're going to call it out,
Yeah.
even if it's AEW or GCW or whoever.
Yeah.
Same deal goes for everybody. So anyway, we're really excited. If you're a WWE stan, you're fine. You can stick around. You're going to enjoy this.
Yes.
If you're an AEW stan, you can still stick around because you're probably going to have something you can enjoy, especially
Yeah.
when we get to night 2.
But let's start with night 1.
Let's go.
All right. So we started off night 1 with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match
Yes.
between the Usos and Nakamura and Rick Boogs.
Expected a lot out of this.
Yes.
Because of being a show opener and starring, you know, the Usos.
Oos.
So I really believe that, you know, and I've seen a lot of reviews go around on this, and, you know, who didn't spend the whole day looking at other reviews when you're going into night 2? So in looking at some of the reviews for this, I have to agree with most of them with saying, you know, hey, this seemed like a run-of-the-mill TV match.
Yes, it did.
And in rating these things, I do want to give some kind of star rating, and I'm not going to go fancy on this. I'm going to go 5 stars on all these, you know, it's 1 to 5.
Yes. Very recognizable.
And, you know, toilet paper for the duds, so to speak. You know, but on this one, I could not rate this match. just because of the injury that occurred.
Yeah, we never got a chance to see where it would have gone if he hadn't got hurt.
Yeah.
Rick Boogs, that is.
I mean, I don't think it was heading toward stratospheric implications.
Probably not.
At best, I think we might get 2.5 out of what I had seen up to that point.
Right.
Just because there was just some clunkiness going around, and I don't think that had anything to do with Usos. So
it usually doesn't.
But hey, man, here's to Boogs.
Yes, get Wilson.
You've got a lot of talent, got a great look.
Yeah.
And hopefully they bring you back as a killing machine with a some kind of Terminator name. I don't know. And you come after Shinsuke because it was his. Whatever.
His idea to pick up
Shinsuke, who had one of the best lines of the week during the Fan Fest panel, they asked him, what's the difference between New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE? And Shinsuke said, well, in WWE, they no book my hotel. They no book the drive. In New Japan, they put us on bus and book the hotel. Much easier. So, look, for those of you wanting dirt,
there you go.
that's the dirt. Shinsuke bringing the truth fire.
Yes, he was.
What we have up next?
After that, we got to see Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Long-awaited match in this feud.
All right. So, listen, we haven't liked Baron Corbin since we saw him on that NXT special, and he seemed like a cocksucker. I'm sorry, I sneezed. Where he seemed like he was rude and angry all the time, right?
Right.
So there was something about this guy that just came up to, like, he's the guy that when you go to get a beer, comes to your table and hits on your old lady. You know what I'm saying? That guy. Yeah. And then wants to fight you because you came over. He's like, well, I'm with the lady. Yeah, you're with the lady I walked in here with, half head. So I don't know.
That's a fair assumption, I think.
Yeah, he did the greatest thing ever with Sad Corbin.
Yeah, poor Corbin was funny.
Yeah, that was great.
But then he came back happy, and we were didn't like him.
But we were in a bad place when poor Corbin came around, weren't we?
Yes.
We were on a really bad place, and we needed anything, and the only thing we were getting was really bad stuff.
Yeah.
So
we were grasping at straws, buddy.
Sad Corbin now, I'm not sure it would be the same, but regardless,
yes,
I didn't have anything for this match.
No. I mean, Drew McIntyre kicked out of the End of Days.
For the
first time.
And it got put over about as much as I just did.
Yeah.
That should have been huge. That should have been something that where we went through this and got up to this point. Maybe on TV a week or 2 weeks ago, they kept putting that over,
Right.
And, well, we know when that happens, buddy, that's gone. That's, 6 years of protection on that.
Yeah, let Corbin, lay him out with it a few times after matches or something.
Yeah, there's no getting up from
Talk
this.
about how devastating it is.
Come out with a big spatula and okay, we're get them out of here. They didn't do that. They just kind of let it happen.
Yeah.
And, kind of mentioned it and stuff, but that's either here or there. I just think that with such a protected move, it's sad to see something like that go and not really do
without any pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, you couldn't not get everything out of it. There's a lot of mileage on that, I believe.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But then we got to see Drew McIntyre cut the ropes with his sword.
Which was fun.
He finally used the sword.
If you don't think that was fun, you don't have a soul.
Yeah.
That's it. That kind of stuff's fun.
That was great. It was entertaining.
Yeah, that's to me is fine. If you're going to be entertainment, cut the sword. That's fine. Use the sword.
So next, business started picking up because we got to see the Mysterios versus The Miz and Logan Paul, which, if anything, was impressive in how Logan Paul performed.
Yeah, man.
I was not expecting him to be so smooth.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I don't think anybody expected this.
Right.
And the callback with Eddie Guerrero, that was also something that was fantastic. Not
so good.
Not just with Eddie, but one of the greatest eras in wrestling with Eddie. And I was really excited about that because, I'm hoping somebody digs that up and goes watches a little bit of old South of the Border action and sees some really incredible wrestling action. But I also was hoping at some point that he was going to be like, oh, yeah, you know what? The paternity test stuff. I really am. But, man, listen, Logan did so much amazing. amazing heel work.
He's
in
such
this
a
match.
good heel.
So he comes out, and Darren, speaking of Eddie Guerrero, he does the Three Amigos.
Oh God, it was so good.
But he doesn't instantly do the Eddie deal, right? He gets up to the top and then uses some great facials and does it, and then does the frog splash. And you're like, oh my God. And the heat was nuclear at that point. It
was terrible.
So
shame on him.
I don't know how you come back from that, but everything was great. It made sense, as far as a match rating on this, and speaking of match ratings, on the last match, I'm going 2 stars on that.
That's fair.
But on this one, honestly, because of what context we're talking,
right,
I have to go 3.5 stars because
it was really good.
It was really good.
I'll never get that sarcastic shimmy out of my head.
No,
it was so good.
It was so good. And I was like, this guy's got something here. I mean, to be a heel long term. He looks great in his gear.
I want him to come back. I'm here for it.
The band Striper, he was bringing that back, the old Christian metal band, for those of you, thank you, Brian Wayne, for pulling that one out to me. But it was exactly right. To hell with the devil. But WWE did WWE's things right after this.
Yes.
And The Miz turned on Logan.
Was he mad that Logan was getting more love than him? He's more famous?
I don't know what the thing was. I was also hoping that Jake, at that point, who was ringside, would jump over.
Oh, yeah.
And
totally.
Honestly, I hate to do this, but in any world, that Logan Paul gets jumped and Jake Paul is 10 feet away.
Yeah, he totally be on it.
if Steve Austin's drunken old brother can come over to railing to drink a beer, you're telling me that Jake Paul can't come over? So I would have thought of that one little part.
Yeah.
And if you weren't going to give him a spot, maybe don't show him.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't focus in on him.
They didn't, but I mean, he's there. It's
we all knew he was out there.
Yeah.
We were like, where's Jake?
Yeah, no, it's like putting the Kool-Aid Man out there. I mean, he's just, it's a noticeable look, kind of like the $6 million Pokemon card.
Oh my God.
Around Logan's neck on the way out.
How arrogant do you have to be?
$6 million. Listen, I went into this not having much for him, right?
No, me either.
I
not the biggest fan of the Paul brothers in general.
I kind of liked it.
He was really good. This rivals the Bad Bunny performance, in my opinion.
I kind of liked it. I'm kind of here for it if they do anything else with him.
You have the stamp of approval from BTW. After this, we got to see Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch in her revenge match for the SummerSlam wrongdoing.
Okay. So when SummerSlam happened, Twitter, they had to make a new Twitter.
Yeah.
The timeline of reality melted down.
Yes.
And we're all just living in an alternate reality now because the us that was there is no longer here.
Right.
It blew people's minds.
It was so bad.
I laughed my ass off.
Yes, you did.
I loved it. I thought it was fire. I thought that was great. What a great return.
Definitely set a lot up.
What a great heel move. And how can you turn Becky heel? She gets cheered no matter what.
Yeah.
She still was getting cheered after that.
Yeah.
She's had to put some immense work into this. And now you kind of had the big time Becks going on.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And Becky comes out just looking gorgeous. Just
great.
Listen, man, the new haircut is just incredible. I'm telling you, it's like she stepped right out of a 1984 lead singer of some cool ass punk chick band, and she looked amazing, honestly.
She really did, yeah.
So I was all excited for her off the entrance alone, and then Bianca had a great entrance, very soulful.
Yes, with the marching band.
Very wholesome, exactly what you want out of your baby face. It's been wronged. And, she's so talented and so strong.
Yeah.
She's got so many gifts that, this is some really cool stuff. And they get into this match. And the story of this match, the story of being wronged and wanting that revenge, the story of...
Becky Lynch, immediately trying to get the win.
The callback.
Because she was I think she was scared of getting into the match with Bianca.
Yeah, exactly. They call back, and you called it when we were sitting here watching it. You know, they're calling back to that SummerSlam match, which is something, do they always do that? No, not always.
Not always.
So this was very, very intelligently booked. It was great. And, you know, again, through the whole thing, she's got that desperation.
Yeah, she's putting her feet on the ropes. She's trying everything.
She makes that face when she kind of realizes it's not going her way.
Yeah.
Kind of that pouty face thing. But we have all kinds of like near falls. We have some just exciting, crazy stuff happen through the whole match. And the finish was fantastic, I thought.
Yes.
I mean, like the way they set up for it and everything.
Yes,
so.
And Bianca got her WrestleMania win again.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a champ again.
Yeah, but this win felt like it was organically cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't under the same conditions as last time, where last time that win kind of felt forced to me. It really did. The whole angle.
Yeah. It was more two baby faces having a big moment, you know, together. But this was more Bianca shining, like overcoming her mountain that Becky had put in front of her.
So we've had, you know, 2 huge wins for her.
Yes.
And with Mania. And, you know, so I'm really excited to see what her Mania life looks like, you know.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
she going to be like a Shawn Michaels? Is she going to have like these, you know, if you wrestle Bianca, you're going to have this classic. I don't know. A lot to live up to for sure. But
she's got a lot of time to work on it.
Listen, I'm here for it. It's going to be a cool title reign, hopefully.
Yes, it is. So there was no slowing down. Because after this, Seth Rollins came out. And of course, he was facing an opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing. And now we all know who it is for sure. It was Cody Rhodes. Not just Cody Rhodes. Perfectly the same American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. With the same entrance music, the same gear.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
Yes. Everything. It was Cody Rhodes. Completely.
Smartest absolute thing they could do. Have it exactly Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Exactly Cody Rhodes.
He even gave his belt to a kid in the front row.
And yeah, that kid, stupid kid. But I mean, this was absolutely amazing. It was well booked. It was fantastic. But we have to talk about the CM Punk pop. All I could think about was, you know, rumors of Cody wanting Punk money. And I was like,
right.
I was thinking, oh, is he worth Punk money now? You know, like that pop.
Oh, it was so loud.
That pop in front of those 412,000 fans.
Yeah.
You know, just we'll get to that. But a ridiculous amount, you know, 65,000 legit probably, but we'll go with 70, whatever.
77,499.
Whatever they want to say. I don't care. It's like splitting hairs when it's that many.
Yeah, really.
And, you know, so
it was a lot of people.
It was a lot of people.
Cody Rhodes.
It looked like a lot of people. It felt like a lot of people. It was electric.
Yeah. The atmosphere is just insanity.
And WWE has this history of, even if you expect something coming, of not giving you exactly that, or messing with you at first.
Yeah.
And making you think. So we're all thinking, well, Shane McMahon might come out, and then Cody comes out.
We were all trying to make ourselves feel better if we had been duped.
Yeah.
We were like, well, it could be this or it could be that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been the thing the whole time. And that's why people get worried, is because it's kind of the New York way of, you know, not giving it to you.
Yeah.
They did it exactly like we heard.
Yes,
and
exactly.
for them to do something like that. And then, man, there was so much underlying story to this match.
Oh, God, the match was so good.
When, you know, after you actually had it going, and for the first 10 minutes or so, you're kind of like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, it felt a little unnatural at first to see Cody in there.
It was really strange. But Cody, like, brushing off the Stardust thing, right? He's like washing his hands. It's gone. And getting into the actual meat and potatoes of the match, Seth is very angry. Like, this is my place. This is my company.
How dare you come back here and steal my spotlight?
It's the war, you know, in so many ways. It's the war.
It is, yes.
And there's so much more to it that they can't say.
Yeah, because, they say he's been gone from WWE for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's
but,
it.
During this match, they could say Kawada kicks. So
they did. Kawada-style kicks.
That was awesome of Corey Graves to say that, because as many times as we've seen those kicks, we don't hear that.
No.
So there was a lot of things. You're hearing the word wrestler now, and you're hearing wrestling. I mean, it's coming in.
Right.
Even in his song, it says, wrestling has more than one royal, whatever it says.
Yes.
It's, what it says. So this match, though, was fantastic.
Yes, just the story alone. And Cody, getting all beat up because he's been gone for 6 years.
Who looks like that after a match up there? I mean, it's rare, right?
It is.
He's beat all the piss.
Yeah.
And it's wow, what happened, brother?
He's been gone for 6 years. He's not used to it.
It was nuts. And did the tattoo look darker to you?
It did. I think he had it redone.
I mean,
or it's bigger or something.
Anybody who thought, well, maybe he's getting the tattoo removed.
I'm sorry.
So it's no, I'm not going to do that.
And of course, he had to hit so many crossroads.
Oh my God.
To put Seth Rollins down.
All right, so he hit the crossroads, and then he does the flip-flop fly. For his dad.
Yes.
And the bionic elbow. And then another crossroads. 1, 2, 3. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. And it was a nod.
The moment.
And, in his post-match and podcast that he did afterwards, he's addressed a lot of the elephants in the room.
Yeah.
And he's addressed, that this was a thing he had to do, and there was no bad blood, but he really felt it was important. And one of the most important things was when Vince and Bruce, flew down to meet with him.
Right.
And he said, I can't change my American Nightmare character. And Vince is like, well, if it's not broke, so why fix it?
That's what we're buying.
And yeah, that's what
American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
That's what we're buying. And they did. They bought it all the way.
In full.
And I'm not sure if he broke a record, but I did see Cody tweet earlier. It was like, well, thanks for everybody that bought the shirt.
Oh, I'm sure a ton of people bought one.
I'm really curious if it was like a one-day record or something like that.
I'm sure we'll hear
about it. We know that tonight only, it'll be 50% off probably.
Yeah.
As always.
Yes. Tonight only.
It bothers her so bad. Tonight only.
Oh, goodness. So that was amazing.
Yeah. No, dude. Amazing is the emotional dump after this. UFC, they'll have a fighter almost win and get some punches, but he doesn't win. And then he's like, oh, he had an adrenaline dump.
Right.
We all had an adrenaline dump.
Oh, yeah. What's your rating for that match? Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes.
I had 4 stars.
Good rating.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of things that were clunky, but you can't really, it's hard to put a measuring stick on emotion.
Yeah.
And the emotion was there.
Yeah, it was for sure.
After 5-10 matches together, which if they have a program, God knows they'll have those matches. You'll have the smoothness. So.
Yes. So, of course, there was that kind of dump, and we got into the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, which people were a little harsh about.
I've seen so much negativity about this. Now, listen, there's also the rumor that Rhonda got mad on Friday and left, and and they had to get her back in, and Rhonda's like, what are you talking about? I was putting my baby to bed. And I don't care about that. We don't know any kind of truth, so I would err on the side of what the person says on this. We know that Rhonda has always not had the best relationship or the best mood with people, and or tirades on Twitter and things like that. So if you were adding those together, then there's a possibility that
wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we would not put it past her,
right,
to be upset about not being, main event or whatever, because we heard that going in, right?
Right.
And she seems the type of person that if she said something in public and then it wasn't that way, would be kind of angry at everybody else because she had said something that wasn't correct, instead of going, oh, well, I screwed that up.
She did win the Royal Rumble. She's supposed to be the main event.
Yeah. Yeah. So good point.
Is that what you're fighting for?
That is supposed to be main event WrestleMania. So.
And she technically was the main event that was announced.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's several main events in my book.
Yes, you couldn't have done it any other way, honestly.
Yeah, there's several main events, and that was a main event, but yes. Thank God help us that it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a good match, a little bit awkward, but I mean, Ronda's gonna be awkward.
Rhonda's going to be awkward. Listen, I thought there was some really great exchanges in there.
Yeah.
And a lot of believability. And one thing I talked to Raja about earlier was when I see an MMA fighter come in, and she's not had 100 matches, all right? When she comes in and she's fresh, I want to see it like a fighter, like an untrained person that may be training.
Right.
That is, doesn't know this part or this part.
Right. She's just doing her best.
Yeah, exactly. She's just trying to kill you. And
using what she knows.
there's many times it looked like they were trying to kill each other. So,
yeah,
I guess one of the biggest run-ins of the weekend was in this match with Charlotte's nipple.
Oh, goodness.
It does a lot of run-ins.
Poor girl.
Yeah, she's got some problems with that. So
maybe change your gear style or something.
Even with there was some, the double moonsault. There's some things where it didn't hit, right?
Right.
But there was also some parts where I thought this was really a good match.
Yeah.
So
of course they gave Rhonda the visual submission.
That was strange.
Yeah.
So you had several of Little Nate causing, not noticing a submission, not noticing, he did notice the foot on the rope too late. He'd already count 3.
Right, and then rescinded it.
So regardless, I give this one 2 3/4 star. And hopefully we get the, I know a lot of people don't want to see it again. I kind of want to see the redemption.
Right. They have to do something. They can't just leave it at that, I don't think.
Yeah. Moving on.
So after that, we had the KO show, WrestleMania edition. Except it wasn't the KO show. It was a clever ruse by Kevin Owens, who wanted a fight out of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. So, Austin looked like it was 2001. Austin looked amazing. And when he came out, he got the monster Austin pop. And,
of course.
Still yet, though, when they go down there and they're talking and the KO show starts, of course, he gets his ATV and runs down there and all this. But when they get in the ring, we get the what's going. God, I hate the what's.
I know you do.
Jesus. Oh.
It makes sense with him, though.
It does with him. But anyway, they get in there and it's a flawless execution. The things that are being said, it's wonderful. The back and forth is great. You got Austin's playing the hits, folks. He's not trying any new music out. He's going to play the hits.
Right.
We're not expecting much because, WWE never does this. But the rumors were true. KO says, I don't have you down here because, playing tiddlywinks or whatever. I want a fight. I want to wrestle you and, beat your ass, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I want it no holds barred. And Austin thinks about it. And I love his face because you can see his face like, man,
just thinking about it.
Like, should I do this? It's been 19 years.
We're in Dallas.
It's been 19 years. There's a lot of stuff changes, especially at his age. And, he's like, I had my first match here in Dallas. I could have my last match here in Dallas.
Right.
And it was such a cool thing just because of all that, because of everything surrounding this. And by God, they did it.
Oh, God, they did it.
They had the match. I'm worried at first because they're going for the stomping a mud hole part. And it was going very slow. Like, I was like, holy Jesus, I hope this isn't it. Because it was kind of feeling like the gimmick battle royal, at WrestleMania in 2000 or whatever, that like where everybody's like, "Brr." And so he's like really slow. But then he's like, nah, fuck it. And, just stomps a mud hole in his ass.
Right.
And then, flatbacks on the concrete. And
insane
suplexes on the concrete, and they fight all over the damn place, and everybody's going nuts. And you get in the ring, and one of the best near falls in the history of near falls.
Yeah.
Listen, Kevin Owens worked his ass off.
He did so good
on bumps on this match, but he takes he gives a stunner. He gives a stunner to Stone Cold. In Dallas. You're in Texas.
Impressive.
You're in Texas, and you give the main event of WrestleMania, you give Stone Cold his own move, and it looked like he was going to get a 3.
You did.
And I thought, oh my dear God, they're going to kill him.
This is the end for Kevin Owens.
And it was, of course, a 2 count. And we get the Stone Cold Stunner. We get a 1, 2, 3. It's a beautiful freaking moment.
It is.
Beers like crazy. Beer commercials happening.
Oh, there's so much beer.
In
beer.
real time. This was exciting. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And we come out of night 1 and we're like, holy crap, we have a 5-star ladies match.
Yes.
Absolutely 5
match
stars.
Match of the night.
5 stars.
For sure.
5 stars. On oh my God.
Becky and Bianca.
Yes. Becky and Bianca.
They were the match of the night for me.
5 stars. And then you got what honestly has to be a 4-star Austin match in 2022 because I'm taking in not the technical,
Right.
Listen, man, this
gotta factor in the nostalgia.
Emotion, people, excitement, story, blah, blah, blah. A full Austin match in 2022, the year of our Lord. And Austin 316 means...
How many of those beers he caught?
He just whipped your ass. Night 1 was absolutely a thumbs up.
It was. It was so good. And it made us even more excited for night 2. I mean, how could you top that? But also, we want more.
Give us more. Give us more.
Whew. So we got into night 2.
Yes.
Sunday.
And
we began with a triple threat tag team championship match between RK Bro, Alpha Academy, and the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. This was just so much fun.
This was great.
It's good fun.
This was great. A lot of freaking awesome spots in this one.
Yeah.
Alpha Academy looked awesome. They really did. I really dig the Butchers. That looks really good.
That Montez Ford freaking flip over the ring post.
He didn't even touch anything this time.
My
so
goodness.
He went out there and I mean, man, there was some really nice stuff in here. Nothing was as good as that daggummed Matt Riddle climbing up and getting the RKO and off the ropes, and then I think Matt Riddle's hurt because he's laying there, and I'm like, is he hurt?
He took
Randy
a weird
Orton
bump.
sitting right about here, and that's when I figured out I was duped.
Out of nowhere, we had an RKO, and they are still friends. Ever since Thank
they brought a
goodness.
tear to my eye for Randy Orton looking like he's having fun, going, you are my friend.
he still looks like he's having the time.
I
of his
just
life.
want them to be friends forever. I want to see them like hanging out, going to movies. I want to see them playing football. I just love this relationship.
Yeah.
Don't take this from me.
No, it's one of the best tag teams.
I know you can't help it. I know, Vince. I know you can't let us have nice things. Let me have this tag team for a little while.
Maybe the tides are changing.
You know what happened with Enzo and Cass. You know what happens when you break up things.
Stop it.
No more. We don't want to have this guy, out there on his own fighting Joey Janela in a parking lot. Can't have that no more. Shut up.
So what are your thoughts star rating wise for this one?
This one's a 3.5 for sure.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then of course you had after the match, Gable Steveson come up and they all had a drink together, and then, Chad Gable and Gable
Little
faced
spot.
off.
Look, they had a little spot, even though I think he should join Alpha Academy.
He'd be perfect for it.
He would, but it's okay. I mean, it'd be a lot of wrestling in that feud.
So much wrestling.
So we'll get around to that. He's probably a little too green for right now.
Right. Okay, after that we got to see the Battle of the Behemoths.
Yes.
Omos
I'm really
versus
pissed about this one.
Bobby Lashley. I know you are.
I'm gonna let you know that, okay? You got a 46-year-old Bobby Lashley who's done everything.
Right.
All right? He comes in there, and I understand he's looked great lately. Looked wonderful. Comes in there, and this match is a mismatch of poo. It doesn't seem like anything was thought out. And you have Omos, who's a legitimate giant.
Yes.
A legitimate giant. And
His hand was
college
as big as Bobby's
basketball
head.
star. I mean, this guy has it, man. This guy's 7'4", 400 pounds. He's a giant like Andre.
Yeah.
He should be booked like Andre until he gets up to that world title and got a manager. Everybody's scared to death of him. And he puts a Tarzan singlet on and comes out there and it's just like, oh, yeah, her. I'm gonna Hulk Hogan. I'll deal. And it's one of those deals that I was ready for this to be a quick squash and Bobby to put him over.
Yeah.
And instead, it looked that way at times. But, it was just last week they gave away a finish. They gave away Omos coming off his feet.
Yes, they should save that.
Real easy. They didn't like build it up like the word stupendous. So for weeks, it should have been stupendous WrestleMania and stupendous Omasi can't come off his feet. I don't know why I'm like Hitler Mario right now, but
Bobby Lashley could have
it's
tried.
amazing. Nine. What?
He could have tried and got really close, like he stumbles around and then he rolls out because he doesn't want to chance it.
I mean, he should have tried picking him up and like got a hernia. I mean, like my butthole is reversed. You know, something could have been like really amazing on this. That'd be hemorrhoids, not a hernia. I apologize to all hernia sufferers out there. I was talking about like when you get an Audi from too much effort. But anyway, I just think it was a wrong call. I like Bobby Lashley too.
Yeah.
In any other situation.
But beating Omos in under 7 minutes, clean, just didn't feel right.
I just feel like you're done with Omos at this point.
Yeah, I mean, how do you take him
That's
seriously anymore?
The only thing that some bitch has.
I know Bobby Lashley is supposed to be the almighty, but Omos he's humongous.
Yeah. Unless you want to make him Lord Humongous now, I'll be okay with that. We never had a black Lord Humongous. I would like one, please.
So what's the star ratings? Bad.
This one is diaper.
We didn't enjoy this one.
No.
But thankfully it was over quick, and then we got right into the Anything Goes match between Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
Anything goes in, anything goes out. Fish, bananas, old pajamas, mutton.
Something and trout.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I wasn't looking forward to this match.
Me either.
I had no hope for it at all. But it was so entertaining. I laughed the entire time.
So the only thing they did wrong first time they had Johnny in was not including things. And I was getting texts through this from my friends that used to watch Wild Boys with me. And,
right.
You know, so when Pontius came in, they were giving me, you know, it's crazy because I love the Chris Pontius song. I don't know karate. I know crazy.
Yes.
It's amazing. So they had the spots with the jackass guys coming in. They were, you know, taking all the stuff and like he should be, but then he had all the gimmicks and the mouse traps, and he had the ball kicking machine. He had Mark Henry's, you know, son, the giant hand. It came out of nowhere too. It was funny as hell. It was sold correctly.
And Wee Man.
Who
knew?
Wee Man doing a full body slam on Sammy.
Spectacular.
Means Sammy is a hell of a worker. But for those of you who don't realize that, go Wee Man.
Yes.
It was really cool, man.
The whole thing was so much fun, and it was done right.
That Wee
was
Man,
just pure silliness.
The Wee Man thing was to make sure he doesn't sue Brock Lesnar for murdering him.
And the giant mousetrap holding Sammy down so he could get the pin was just the icing on the cake.
It was great. I mean,
loved it.
It was really great. The bowling ball and the nuts.
Oh, gosh.
That never gets old to me.
No,
you know?
It looks painful.
It was really Jackass.
It was.
It was what you pay for Jackass. So I was really excited for it at the end. It was really good, man. It's hard to give something like that a rating.
Yeah, it's just silly.
I'm going to give it a kazoo.
Okay, that's fair. After that, we got to see the Fatal 4-Way match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And that was between Sasha and Naomi, Queen Zelina and Carmella. Stop it. Shayna Baszler and Naomi. And Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. That's it. That's everybody.
Riptide.
We can't talk about that on air. I love them so much. I wanted them to win so bad. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan are the best tag team I've ever seen in my life. And they're dressed as Catwoman and Batman. They looked so good. I'm sad that they didn't win, but I'm also happy that Sasha and Naomi won. It's a conundrum.
Listen, after we saw Catwoman,
it was just over from there.
After we saw Catwoman and Batman, when I saw Catwoman, I was like, oh, but I didn't say it as loud as she did. And then she goes, wouldn't it be awesome if Rhea was Batman? After that happened, I didn't see a damn thing in this match. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know anything that happened.
It was a really good match.
I don't know anything. All I know is the vibe that happened here made me really glad that we weren't sitting in Dallas.
I'm sorry. You guys got to back me up in the comments, okay? All my ladies got to back me up on Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, please.
I'll back you up.
Even Kayla Braxton was tweeting about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. About Liv Morgan and that
I
whip.
think if there's anything I will back you up on is that Rhea and Liv get screwed the hell over all the time.
Oh, God, they do.
Rhea had the best, coolest match ever during, pandemic death WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With Charlotte.
Yeah.
Absolutely match of the week that time. And they went back to it, but they didn't go back to it proper.
Yeah.
Not like it was.
No.
And I think Rhea deserves something off that. And, she still gets kind of,
If Rhea and Liv do not hold the tag team championships at some point, I'm going to be really upset.
Liv's the only person in that match that hasn't held a title. Oh, poor Liv. Ever.
She deserves so much better.
Ever. They give titles to anybody.
Yeah.
And she
listen,
hasn't had a title.
I understand the implications here of Sasha Banks getting her first WrestleMania win. And I'm
Big
very
deal.
proud of her and Naomi. I'm happy that they're champions. They deserve it as much as anyone. I'm just personally a very big Rhea Ripley fan and Liv Morgan fan.
So we need to move on because we're getting fired up here. And so great match.
I will say that I don't think there was a reason to put Naomi and Shayna Baszler in this match. But other than that,
I give this 2.25.
Really good. Yeah. So after that, we had Edge versus AJ Styles. I'm not saying that this was an incredibly long match, but I am saying that it was the longest match of the 2 nights.
I'm gonna cover my label here, but I gotta take a drink.
Okay.
While we're on the air, don't want this cut because I want to show you things that had to happen during this match.
It was, as the commentary put it, it was very methodical.
Methodical
and
is
deliberate.
Code word for Jesus. Help me, Jesus.
Like time-wise, time of matches, it was the longest match of the 2 nights, and I don't think it had any reason.
Anybody remember Randy Orton and Edge?
I do. It's still going on.
There's a reality out there. I believe in many, many dimensions.
Yes.
There is a dimension out there in the multiverse where that damn match is still going on. I think this may be the only one where it's not. Because it felt like it was happening still. Okay?
Just continues into this one.
I know there's edge heads.
Yes.
And you have that. Dude, listen, I am all about him at the entrance.
Yeah, it was great. Great entrance. Great gear. He looked great.
I'm good for that. I'm good for him leading the new brood or whatever he's going to do, which we'll get to in a second.
Yes.
But damn you on giving him long matches.
Good Lord, please.
He's the most boring individual I've ever seen in my life. This guy, I love long matches. This guy makes me want to quit watching wrestling.
We spent the first 10 minutes of the match just trying to figure out why the heck AJ Styles came out bleeding already.
Yeah, that was like, we're like, did he fight?
What happened?
What happened?
We found out that he hit his face on the entrance on the way out.
That's my first thought was that had to be a really low entrance.
I think he turned the corner too fast and he got the edge of the star. It was poorly planned.
So I'll give this match 3 stars just because it was too much. It went too extra. It was too damn much.
You could have shaved 10 minutes off this and given the New Day more time. Just throwing that
Buff
out there.
Bagwell's mom could have shaved his balls in the time of this match.
Yes, she could have. She's a pro.
She is a pro at that, apparently.
So, of course, after the match ended, Damian Priest, he distracted AJ Styles during the match, but after the match ended, he got in the ring with Edge, and they did like a fist thing.
I have to give it to Sean Ross Sapp, a Fightful Select. He put that out like a few days ago, and I read it at the time. It didn't make much sense. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if I was super tired when I was reading it, but I remember reading it as like faction Modrade, Conle, Bolde, Gold. I was like reading incantations. It was like Edge, faction, Damian, and I was like, oh, and then it all it came to when I was seeing that. I was like,
Oh, that's what he was
yeah,
talking
Sean
about.
Ross Sapp said that. Very good, Sean Ross Sapp.
Wonder who else is going to join.
You're not only good in battle royals. So anyway,
Right. And then after that, we got to see the match that was cut from night one, which was Sheamus and Ridge Holland versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
why didn't you just leave it off? Or give it during the 2 bloody hour pre-show?
I don't understand the thinking here at all, especially considering it was like a Big E tribute match,
And
basically.
okay, Big E tribute match. It wouldn't have mattered if it was 20 minutes. You should have put him over.
Yeah. They should have gotten revenge.
It don't matter what happened in the damn match. We're not going to talk about that.
I don't care about the storyline
So
at this point.
what you do a Big E tribute, they're wearing Big E's freaking singlets. And, Big E still had a smile on his face no matter what you guys did to him.
Yeah.
And still, God.
You beat his boys under 2 minutes. And then follow that up by letting The Undertaker come out again.
For
So long.
For so long. It was so long. Just staring at the damn camera.
Doesn't, say anything?
The whole time thinking,
Oh, jeez.
I wonder if any of my friends with guns and knives are around.
Oh, God.
I brought some with me.
Oh, goodness. Okay. We're just going to keep going because that was all terrible. But after that was the moment of the night, honestly, because we got Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee. But that wasn't all we got. We got so much. So much. This was the gift that kept on giving.
So, Pat McAfee, other than listening to this son of a bitch every day, as I do because I love
He's wonderful.
football. By the way, the Miami Dolphins are going all the way this year.
Right.
So he's very entertaining. He's great, but he also I share something with this guy. The love throughout your whole entire life. And so many people have that story. But very rarely do they actually have the gifts like me and Pat McAfee
Right.
to talk and to, I'm just playing. A lot of people have the gifts, but
anyone could do it.
Seeing him live this and do this and have these opportunities like he did with Adam Cole, having these opportunities to go out there and prove himself. And then on the grandest stage of them all, coming out there, I knew that he was going to do something. Not only did he commentate earlier, but he comes out here and have this match. There was some freaking moments in this match, baby. Let me tell you, Vince at ringside, and the whole time I'm thinking, damn, Dave Meltzer, I love you so much. I know you caught a lot of crap for saying Vince was, one of the original plans to do a match. And, I really wanted something to happen with that. But then in this match, McAfee's up top, and he gets caught and he's fighting with Austin and he gets knocked off, but instead he does a moonsault, lands on his feet, looks up at him, and the facials are just perfect, and it's all about the facials. And he frickin' jumps up to the top.
That vertical.
Does the vertical. My God. It's just beautiful.
Superplex.
Just beautiful.
Oh,
Pat wins this match, dude. Pat wins the match. Big win. He's celebrating. It's great. Vince is leaving with Austin, taking his, adopted son home. And he keeps looking up there like Vince would, like, oh, yeah, you better shut your damn mouth. You better shut. And they're still looking. Vince starts taking off his clothes. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'll be damned if it didn't. The old man gets in the ring, takes it off, shows his freaking mega titties and shows his freaking his arms that are still somehow at 712 years old, still buff. He's still buff.
He looks great for his age.
My God. He comes out there and he's looking great, and he's drank some baby spines or something recently. got all that high budget. That's why he brings celebrities in for WrestleMania to stick the straws in those orphans and get that freaking youth syndrome. So he's out there looking freaking great, and they start having a match, and he's like, boom, Austin's giving the nut shots and all this to Pat, and Pat's in trouble. And I think right then, and I look at her and I'm like, holy shit, Steve Austin's here. Steve Austin's in the back. Steve Austin's going to come out. I even pre-tweet it, by the way. I pre-tweeted this fact. And then
Vince McMahon wins.
Yeah,
they're
Vince,
celebrating.
Vince is probably the oldest person to ever have a Mania win. I don't know how old Taker was. So, Austin comes out and we get a rekindling a throwback, a fan service, a greatest hit of the, no arguing about it. If we're talking finances, houses, emotions, draw, ratings, the greatest feud in the history of WWF, WWE. Okay, you could say there's an argument for greatest in wrestling. I'll fight you there. But it's the greatest feud because of all the factors.
Yeah.
And freaking Austin McMahon, man. And standing there and you know, they drink a beer together. You know it's coming. He kicks him, and he takes the worst stunner in the history of stunners. It's worse than the Linda McMahon stunner. I didn't think anybody could ever get worse than a Linda McMahon stunner. He could get a paraplegic out of a chair, and it'll take a better than, I'd say they'd actually take a pretty good stunner. But it was great. Austin took a HBK bump.
Yeah,
it was like
hilarious.
It was like HBK and Hulk Hogan. It was like vroom, vroom, vroom,
like flopped out
like
the
Faith No More Fish at the end of the video. But that's a hard reference. But anyway, it was great.
It was great.
And that could have been the main event because I felt so good after that.
He gave Pat McAfee a stunner.
Yeah, and then
so
gave
good.
Pat a stunner, then gave him a beer on the floor, and Pat's drinking it while he's dead.
Nobody had more fun in this moment than Steve Austin.
Yeah,
he was
fun.
laughing the whole time.
You're having fun because he's having fun. It was a great moment.
Oh, I wish this had closed the show. But we had a unification match left.
Yeah.
But that moment was the best part of the night, honestly.
Yeah, it was. So Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and what was billed is they cursed it because they called it the greatest match in WrestleMania history.
They did.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody forgot something or if there's a shoot injury. I hope there wasn't, but at the same time, I kind of hope this comes out. But I don't think it was the shoulder. I think that was storyline. That's why they were talking. They knew the camera was there. You know, when he's like, my shoulder's out, wise man, whatever. You know, I'm going to put it back in. I don't know if maybe Brock had an injury and, you know, it looks like maybe something was forgot. Something didn't happen.
Something went awry because this was incredibly anticlimactic.
It was too anticlimactic. It just, you know, what was the move that he pinned him on, a spear?
Yes, he speared him once. He's been speared Brock Lesnar one time.
And this is when, the weirder thing about this is when the one guy is saying he's injured.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got Roman saying that his shoulder's out, but then a spear pins the other guy when you would think, oh, he can't hold him down. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, he won't be able to hold him down or hook his leg because of the shoulder.
After Roman took 8 suplexes.
Yeah.
And an F5. For goodness sake. I don't understand it, I guess.
Yeah, and they still had a few
the
minutes
thinking.
on air. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's weird. I
didn't like it.
Listen, it was like a 3-star match,
Yeah.
main event, WrestleMania. It wasn't
not great.
It definitely wasn't. Of course, they did have that. You know, Edge and Randy Orton was the last time they said the greatest wrestling match ever.
That's fair. You should stop calling things that.
It curses it. Listen, overall, WrestleMania 2-day event plus the NXT was fire.
Yes.
You know, and not even counting all the extracurriculars and all the interviews and
WWE firing on all
everything.
cylinders.
Brother, this was a great thing. Gives me great hope for Raw after Mania.
Oh yeah, exciting.
The last 2 or 3 years have sucked balls, but this time I think we're going to actually have a Raw after Mania. Please let Paige come back. And
this was the best WrestleMania I've seen in a long time.
yeah, so we want to hear from you. What was your favorite part? What did you love? What did you hate? What do you hope happens with Raw after Mania? But other than that, listen, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you were entertained by us. We loved this WrestleMania. It was a lot of fun. For Raja, I'm John. So long from Blind Tag Wrestling.
Bye.